Hello there guys, David here. Welcome back to another video. This is the second instalment of my Football Manager 2020 experiment series. Last episode we did a test to see how Andrea Pirlo got on at Juventus, obviously since he's recently been confirmed as their new manager. If you do want to see that, a link is going to be in the top corner of your screen now. So if you do want to check that out, then make sure you do. I won't spoil it for you. I think it's quite interesting. It's interesting to see where things turn out over the couple of years that we did the save for. But in this one, we're going to do a fairly hotly debated topic. In this one, we're going to look to see how Scottish teams will get on in the Premier League. Now, I can't just add them into the league from what I could tell anyway. So what I've done is I've swapped them with the three teams that got relegated at the end of this season. So Norwich, Watford and Bournemouth have gone into the Scottish Premiership. So we'll actually keep an eye on how they get on as well, just to see how what I would class as some probably lower ranked English Premier League teams survive in the Scottish Premier League. And then we've brought across Rangers, Celtic and Aberdeen. I'll probably get told off by all sorts of Scottish people for the order I've done that in, I'm sure. But yeah, I hope you like this, guys. If you do, then make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification to get all of these videos, as well as all the other series that I'm going to be doing on this channel as well. And if you want to see other videos as well, other little experiments, if you want to think of some ideas, I'm just thinking of stuff that I've seen, and I think we're quite interesting to see how it plays out. If you do like that sort of thing, yeah, slap an idea in a comment and in the comment section, and I'll see what I can do. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this one, guys, and yeah, let's get stuck in. Alrighty then, guys, let's get into this then. So I have fast forwarded to the 13th of June 2020. As mentioned, we have shifted around three teams in each league. So we've shifted Celtic, Rangers and Aberdeen into the English Premiership, and then we have moved Norwich, Bournemouth and Watford, obviously the relegated teams, into the Scottish Premiership. So seeing as we've got Hamilton Academical on the screen, because I've obviously get all these updates and stuff come through in the middle of this, I'm going to go on to this one, and let's go into the Scottish Premiership first and see how that's gone on. So, I mean, Hamilton finished 10th. Is there 12 in the Premiership? I suppose we'll find out in a second. 10th Elaborates Premiership, Bournemouth have won that. Ross, yeah, there's 12. So Bournemouth, Watford and Norwich, all top three, and they are, 7 points at least ahead of everyone else. So that's an interesting point of view. Obviously, Celtic have been toppled off, which was unsurprising. And I suppose, again, these Premier League teams are, again, apologies to any Hibernian, Kilmarnock, Hearts, Motherwell, Livingston, St Johnstone, Hamilton, St Mirren or Ross County fans. They're probably not near the quality that you would normally get. And I am aware with this pre-game editor I've done that it means that I believe that these teams cannot get into European competitions, which is why 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th have done that. That's why that's happened, just so you guys are aware. But let's have a look through the rating, shall we? So Callum Wilson, top scorer. Josh King, second. I mean, it's all Bournemouth really here, isn't it? Funnily enough, actually, the only person who's not from Bournemouth from an English team is Ben Foster with the clean sheet. Is interestingly Norwich haven't really done too much. I did actually, I did do this last night as a test just to see what happened, and it was actually the complete opposite. So Norwich actually won the league, and it was actually a lot more comfortable for all of them. But Bournemouth, 32 wins. That is incredible. Did they make any big signings? Let's have a look. Still spent £45 million, which is quite impressive. I mean, technically, obviously, they've only spent £9.5 million, which is much more of a normal budget. And interestingly, sold Tyrone Mings and Lys Mousset to Premier League opposition, which is, I mean, I think that's quite interesting. I don't know if that's because of the fact they're losing money as a result of being in the Scottish Premiership. I'm not sure. Oh, in debt. Oh, okay. Let's check out the other ones then. Right, okay, let's have a look at this then. Insecure. Oh dear. Norwich is secure. So what have they just sold a load of players? Oh, they've had a fire sale pretty much. Buendia's gone to, yeah, see, these are probably players that I would imagine, because of the way I've edited this, they probably came straight out and went, no, I don't want to be part of this. Even you see here, they've bought a player, they've spent 4.7 million on transfer. That's why they're all right. I might, if I can. In fact, I'm going to keep a very keen eye on Bournemouth, because if they're in debt now, despite the fact they've won the Premier League, that seems a little bit worrying, doesn't it? Eddie Howe's still in charge. Don't say anything. Right, okay. Right, well, we've had a look at that then. How do we get back into where they've been previously? Can I see their history? Can I just go through it this way? Competitions? No, we don't really want that, do we? Let's just do it. Oh, I don't bloody know. Oh, I can. Oh, no, I can a Celtic here, right? Oh, not good from them, I don't think. Oh, again, not what I saw last night. Aberdeen bottom. Again, sorry, Aberdeen. Big shout out to Damar Moore FM. He is a Aberdeen fan and he's doing a very, very good Aberdeen save where they are pulling up trees in Europe and all that sort of stuff. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description if you do want to check it out. Yeah, really good save. Does all sorts of really good stuff on there. They've not quite done what he's been able to do in the Premier League, although when I told him I was doing this, he did mention they probably wouldn't fare too well, and they haven't. Who do they beat? I mean, they beat Man City and Leicester. I mean, take that. That's awesome. And then they drew 7, lost 29 games. Whew. That's quite a few losses. Sheffield United got relegated. That's a surprise. I mean, it was close. Look at that. 4 teams. Both of them went down on the same goal difference, and West Ham and Aston Villa stayed up. Where have we heard that one before? Wonder if any of those goals crossed the line or not. Not a bitter fan at all. I'm a Leeds fan, by the way, in case you're wondering. I'm just bitter about the whole thing that happened last year. We gave them all that fair, but we got the fair play award for everything we did. They didn't give Sheffield United the goal, and as a result, relegated Watford. But whatever, it's fine. Over it. Right, Rangers were the ones that stayed up though. Interestingly, yeah, when I did this last night, Aberdeen finished bottom. I can't remember who else got relegated with them apart from Rangers did, and Celtic I think finished about 11th place. They did all right. So check out what's going on here. These guys are rich now. Neil Lennon's still in charge. Signed Noah Kenner from Leeds. It's a standard football manager move. He always goes to a Premier League team very early. What else have we got? See, they've not spent a huge amount. Kieran Tierney went to Arsenal. We knew that anyway. Otherwise, they've not really. In fact, actually, to be honest, if you count, hold on, let's put the dates on here. If you ignore pretty much anything from, go away. So from Ewan Henderson downwards, their sales they have made, and then the same goes from Noah Kenner downwards as well. So Cathcart from there, Will Huff from Leeds, get quite far. Sell from Leeds much, jeez. Okay, cool. Well, we know what's happening there. So who's going? Yeah, so we know who's going down in the Premier League. Liverpool 1, shocker. Very similar to what they did this year, to be fair, isn't it? I think maybe you switch a win for a draw. I think. Sure, I saw. Anyway, Burnley Intercontinental Football again. But fair play to them. What else do we have? Nothing really nothing really too surprising there, I suppose. Apart from, like I say, yeah, Rangers staying up. What did they do in terms of transfers? Have they done much? Again, they've not really sold anyone, but they've bought in a fair few players. But no, they haven't, because the only person they brought in was Alexander Tete. Otherwise, I believe these all happened anyway, or they're Ryan Kent in on a permanent transfer, which is a good signing for them. All right, well, and then Aberdeen. They're probably rich. Yeah, they're rich, but they're not staying up, unfortunately. Have a look through. Yeah, I mean, they've not really done anything. Again, they brought in. That's a really weird signing to bring in Mateusz Bogus in from Leeds on a loan. It's almost like they're still. I suppose reputation maybe plays a part in this. I'm not sure. Bradley Wright Phillips in on a free transfer. How does it? Has he? I played for them, and then he left. I'm. That's not, that is not good. That's a horrible average rating. Probably regretting that signing, aren't they? I don't know. Right, well, let's have a quick look before we go and fast forward again another year. Let's have a look at Championship and see who's going up from there. Fulham won in the playoff final again. West Brom, same 3 got promoted, but Leeds didn't win the Championship, which is a shame. I'm sure they're managed by Sam Allardyce now. Oh, called it. It is such a football manager move. You check this out. Look at the managers. Marcelo Bielsa left. I bet you he went to Betis. Oh, he didn't. Didn't this time. Went to West Ham. Disappointed with how things are going. I would be. Carlos Corberan left, and then yes, Sam Allardyce took over. It always happens. That Bielsa sometimes changes hands, goes somewhere different, but it's always Allardyce that takes over. But there you go. And yeah, so we're going to have West Brom, Leeds, and Fulham replacing the relegated 3 of Celtic, interestingly, Sheffield United, and Aberdeen. So what we'll do, guys? We'll fast forward another year. I don't think there's been any managerial casualties, so we should be all right there. But yeah, we will. Oh, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sacked. come back to that. And Pep Guardiola sat for poor league position. I mean, come on. I mean, they were 20 points behind, to be fair, so I'll give them that. Right, yes. So let's, we'll fast forward a year. So fast forward to June 2021, and let's see how all 6 of those teams, and probably the other ones as well, keep an eye out, have got on. Okay then, guys, we are back. We are 2 years into things now. So on the 18th of June 2021. Let's go and have a look, shall we? Shall we start in the Premier League, seeing as we've got the option to do so right here. So last season, what do we have happen? We had Aberdeen got relegated, as did Celtic and Burnley. No, it wasn't Burnley. Who else got relegated? Can't remember. It's completely escaped my mind. Doesn't matter. We'll come back to that in a minute. We'll figure out who that was. But let's go and have a look to see what happened this time last year. There's no one left. Rangers have been relegated as well. All of our teams that went up, or that have come across from the north of the border, have been relegated. They are all out of the Premier League as it stands. You see Leeds have stayed up. That's nice to see. Fulham did a very good job, 47 points in the first season back in the Premier League. West Brom relegated. Man United were in the Premier League. Wouldn't expect to see that happen. Only losing 3 games as well. Interesting stuff. Who's actually managing them now? Carlo Ancelotti. That's an interesting change. Is he their most recent manager? Yes, he is. He joined. So would he have been at... I think he'd have been at... Oh, he was at Everton at that point in this game. So, yeah, he's moved away from Everton than the old David Moyes. He's done a much better job. 81% of his games won. He won the FA Cup as well. Very impressive. But let's go and check out Rangers then. So what's happened to them? Still got old Stevie G in charge. We'll see if he stays in charge going into the next season, I suppose. So either he'll manage there or not anymore. See the transfers. You can see the Premier League money starting to come in now. They're starting to spend a bit more, although it didn't help them stay up, unfortunately. A couple of players from Bournemouth as well, interestingly. Jermaine Defoe coming in. Weird. I thought he was already there. Maybe he went the other way. Adria Pedrosa. Oh, so he joined them. So he joined them with their Premier League money and then went to Newcastle. I don't know what Newcastle are like. They don't seem to have any money in real life until they get this inevitable. Because proposed takeover, when that actually happens, seem to have loads of money kicking around in Football Manager games. I don't know why. Pedro Neto. Okay. What's happened? Oh, yeah. So Pedrosa joined in August. He then left in June. Right, okay. So we can fast forward a little bit further. So Chris Smalling on loan. Unfortunately, I mean, there's some good signings here. Don't get me wrong. Solanke's a good guy to get in. Defoe again, good player time. Martin Braithwaite, solid player. Smalling, yeah. There's some good players coming in, but yeah, nothing good about it. Interesting, good money spin on Defoe as well. They bought him in July, sold him in January for 450k rather than 575. So very clever. A little bit of management there. Let's go down into the Championship and let's see how those newly relegated teams got on. Oh. Straight away, Celtic promoted again. Good for them. They've managed to go back up. Let's check on Aberdeen as well. Where are they? 18th. So not the best in the world. Is Derek McInnes still in charge? How is he still there? I'd have sacked him off by now. Jeez, if I was looking after that board. They brought in some players. So obviously, parachute payments have helped a little bit there. So they managed to bring in a couple of players. Sold a few as well. They're not really doing much in terms of profit, really, are they? So I don't know how long they'll last for. But yeah, not the best. I'll keep an eye on them as we continue to go through this. Probably go another season in after this and we'll figure out where they've got to. So do 3 seasons in total just to see what happens with the teams who've gone back into the top flight and see if Rangers can go back up again at the first time of asking. But yeah, they're not doing too bad and they're still classed as rich. So clearly still managing to do a bit of business in terms of keeping their finances very much in check. Let's go to the guys in the Premier League now. So, in the Scottish Premiership, rather. So let's go type that in. Ladbrokes Premiership. Holders Norwich. Interesting. Wow, Norwich have smashed that. Hearts second. Oh. Watford third. Kilmarnock, Hibs, Bournemouth in 6th place. Jesus. I mean, that's probably the debt talking, isn't it, to be honest? Let's have a look at them first. They are back up to secure, so they've managed to sort that out. Have they had a fire sale, I'd imagine? Whoa, that's a big old sale. £105 million out. I didn't realise they had £105 million worth of players. They have sold for some very small prices as well. Jefferson Lerma, not 12.5. Nathan Ake's just joined City for 41 million in real life. Not doing the same thing there. Callum Wilson, football manager legend. Josh King, Lewis Cook only going for 7.5 million. I bet he's up probably around the 30 mark now. Yeah, 22 million. He's a solid player. He's got his first cap for England as well. David Brooks for 4.9 million. It's crazy. They have sold them because they had to. They had no choice. So yeah, they've obviously not been able to get money in as a result. Even Jordan Ives gone away on free. Wow, that is a surprise. I mean, that has not gone well for them at all, has it? And yeah, 100. What was that? 10k. 10k spent. Jesus. I presume they've been focusing on the youth quite a bit, I'd imagine. Let's have a look at Watford then. Finished third. Can't remember where they finished the year before. I suppose I can have a look at it in a minute. They're still rich. So they've done a fire sale as well. Oh my word. What's going on? Luis Suarez out there. He's done his trademark switch to a bigger team because obviously far too big for Watford. Sorry, Watford fans. Danny Welbeck to Southampton. De La Feu to West Brom. Juan Hernandez to Norwich. I'm sure he was already there anyway, wasn't he? Doucouré to Brescia. Troy Deeney to West Ham. That's an interesting one. Will Hughes to Leeds. Quina to West Brom. Kiko Firmino back to Brazil. Oh no, he's Argentinian, isn't he? Oh, he's neither. He's Spanish. Well done, David. Good job, mate. Anyone else really of note here? Any free sales? No one there that I recognise. Obviously, if there is stuff that you recognise that I haven't picked up on, make sure you slap it in the comments. Let me know what I've missed because it'd be interesting to go back through this. I'm sure there's bits that you guys will see that I haven't. And Norwich have been fairly busy in the transfer window over the last season. So who have they got rid of first? Let's have a look at that. Max Aarons again, yeah, too big for them, I'm afraid. He's gone to Southampton. Jamal Lewis to Leicester. Onel Hernandez, I'm pretty sure he's a good player, isn't he? He's quite old. He's not too old. Is he from Cuba? Very classy. Yeah, I thought he was a good player. He's clearly not done a huge amount, so he's gone on to better things. Well, equal things, I guess, looking at Blackburn. Alex Tete's gone on a very cheap fee. Joseph Durmich, Mario Vrancic. Yeah, I'm starting to get to the players I don't recognise now. What about ins? Let's order that on value. Biggest one they got in was Bobby Adekanye. Again, don't recognise his name, from Lazio for 7.5 million. How did he play this season? Pretty well. Lots of green in the stats there. 7.10 average rating. Not bad at all. What else have they... Oh, one click too far. What else have they done? Juan Hernandez. Obviously, we knew he'd come in because we saw him go from Watford before. I could have sworn he was at Norwich before. Maybe I'm thinking of Onel Hernandez instead. I thought there was two of them. Who else? Nadim Bayrami. Also Manafa, Navanchi. Sam Surridge from Bournemouth. Part of their fire sale. Ryan Glover from Bournemouth. A couple of loans in. Thiago Almada, that's a good signing to bring in. Bernardo Silva, that's not the Bernardo Silva, is it? Let's be honest, it's one of those young cheap ones. Who else? No one really else is worth noting, I don't think that I can see. Well, interesting stuff. Right then, guys, what we'll do is, in fact, let's just see. No, we know who's coming back up. I think we saw it in the Championship. Let's just go back and check it anyway. It was Celtic, Forest won it, and Brentford went up as well. Sheffield United didn't manage to go up at the first time of asking, nor did... Who else has gone down in them? Was old Sunderland relegated? So they got up and got relegated again. Who am I missing that's gone down? Obviously, Aberdeen went down. Oh, Sheffield United, Celtic, and Aberdeen, they all went down, and one of them's gone back up. Odsonne Edouard, probably a little bit out of his depth here in the yeah, he's, look at that, 30 million. He's transfer listed for 27. He scored 19 in 39. He shouldn't really be there still. He should have gone at the end of the Premier League season. He would be doing bits at another team if he'd gone somewhere else, but maybe they couldn't get anything for him. I don't know. Should we check their transfer business actually before we go any further? See what they've been doing. Net spend of 10 million. Ollie McBurney, George Baldock, both from Sheffield United. Interesting choice from Sheffield United to let them go to Celtic of all places. Bertrand Salina, Josh King and Ramsdale. Steve Cook, yeah, so many Bournemouth players disappearing out of this. Mateus, Jordan Baptiste, Marco van Ginkel, or Hinkle is it? I don't know. Christopher Ayer, Jesus, I didn't realise they brought him in. I didn't spot that. Oh, they had him anyway. I thought he was original. I thought he was at Ajax, something like that. Maybe not. Maybe that's just in a different save. I've seen that he went to Real Madrid for 37.5 million. Very impressive for him. Who else? Tom Rogic has gone to Young Boys again. I thought he'd gone somewhere else, maybe another Championship side, perhaps. They've done the same as Rangers did with Defoe. They got Matthias in on a free and then sold him for 2.5 million. Very good business from them. Lee Griffiths out on loan to Hanover. That's an odd one. Why would he go there? He's not a bad player. His ratings don't give much away. Weird decision for him to go there, but there you go. And I think that's pretty much it. Luke O'Connell, Robbie Dees. Get a couple of players I recognise, not a huge amount. Did we look at Aberdeen's? Let's just go back into Aberdeen's and I'll see if I can remember whether we did theirs or not. We did. We've looked at this. We didn't look it into a huge amount of detail, but there's no one really. Omar Bogle, probably the main player I know. Jordi Hirula, Callum Elder, recognise them. Alan Judge, actually. There's a couple I recognise, but again, not many, not a huge amount. They don't really seem to have the pull that these other teams do, unfortunately. But yeah, guys, what we'll do is we'll go one more season. We'll go to 18th of June or thereabouts, 2022. Let's see what happens to Aberdeen, see if they manage to consolidate and maybe make a push at the table, see if Rangers can go back up at the first time of asking, see if Celtic can stay up. That's very important to look at, and see how the three over in the Scottish Premiership are getting on as well. So we'll be back for that in just a sec. Alrighty then, sports fans. It is the 17th of June 2022. I can't believe I just said that. Remind me never to do that again. But it is the 17th of June 2022, so we are 3 years into the future, and this is going to be the final year that we're going to check up on this save, unless there is demand for it, in which case slap it down in them comments below, and I will save this and we'll do a little extra episode, maybe 5 even 10 years in the future, if you fancy it. But without further ado, let's get into things. So 3 years into the future, let's go and have a look in the Premier League first, because I can go through it via this way. So Premier League news, here we go. Let's go and have a look. Holders, Manchester City. There's a starting point we didn't see before. Let's have a look then. So, Leeds have been relegated. Boo-hoo me. We made it. We made it once, we made it 2 seasons, we just capitulated there. What's happened? Who's in charge? Brendan Rodgers in charge. I mean, I take that. Brendan Rodgers in charge. Sam Allardyce got sacked. There you go. Simple as that, really. And Brendan Rodgers, poor Brendan, hasn't had a chance since Christmas Eve to overturn the fortunes. But we'll move away from that because that's not what we're here for. Forest got relegated again, first time. So did Brentford. Celtic stayed up. Oh, well done, lads. Stayed up by quite a margin as well. That's interesting. It's been a while since from what I can remember that any of these have been confirmed before the last day of the season. That's got be at least 2 match days potentially before the end of the season. Who else have we got in here? So Man City, Man United right at the top, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, Everton, Arsenal dropping down. Tottenham, I went past them. Yeah, it's pretty much as you were. Nothing's really changed too much. Let's drop down in fact, let's see what Celtic have done since they've got back into the Premiership. Neil Lennon's still in charge, interestingly enough. Have a look at their transfer guile, see what they've done. Spent a fair whack of money since they've come into the Premier League, unsurprisingly, with all that TV money that had come through. Edouard leaving to go to Ajax, that's an interesting move. I would personally say, maybe, I don't know, sideways step? I mean, he's been firing them in. I know that Ajax are obviously a very good team in their own right, but surely he's going to expect to move on for more money in the next couple of seasons. Maybe that's what he's done it for. Maybe he's tried to get a chance to kind of build up and go into the next season. I don't know. Maybe, who knows? Let's go through dates instead, because we're getting a couple of ones from last year as well. Marian Shved, never heard of him. Is he a new gen? No, he's not. Never heard of the guy. Andrew Gutman, Ollie McBurney went on loan to Basel. Jeremy Frimpong's gone out on loan. He's a good player in Football Manager. If you've never used him, do it, because he's very good. Hatem Abd El Hamed. Again, never heard of him. He's gone to Ludogorets. Jack Larkin has gone to Dover. There's not really a huge amount in here that I recognise. No, not seeing a huge amount there. What about the players coming in? Cedric Bakambu from Beijing for 18.5 million. Callum Chambers, good signing for them, coming in for 15.5 million. Samu Castelao. coming in for 11 million from Milan. Mitchell Dykes, Ricardo Kishner, Anderson, Liam George. Again, no huge. I mean, yeah, Callum Chambers probably the most notable transfer they've brought in, I suppose, if you look at that. But yeah, 10 million net loss on transfers definitely tells us they're in the Premier League. Right, so let's go back down. Let's go down then to see how Rangers and Aberdeen are looking. Aberdeen have got a third best top goal scorer, who's Jordan Ross. That's a good shout, wasn't it? He is fresh out of the academy. A very good season by his account, so I'm sure he'll be looking to get a decent 30k a week already at 18 years old. Captain international. Oh, title holders Rangers. So they've gone up as champions. Fair play to them. They've gone straight back up. Who's in charge of them then? Let's have a look. Is it still Stevie G? He's still there. They've kept the main man in. Alfredo Morelos is still there. I can't stand that guy. Look at that face. He just looks like an absolute douche, doesn't he? I really don't. I don't know why. There's something about him. He reminds me. There's just you get players that you just think of that you just really don't like. I've never seen him really I haven't really seen him play too much. I've seen him in the odd game here and there when he's been playing in north of the border, but I just don't like the guy. I don't know why. And every game I think I've seen him in, he's been sent off by for his stamping or elbowing or something stupid like that. What's his aggression? Yeah, aggression 16 to 20. That's probably about right, to be fair. So he's still there. He's their key player. But they are getting promoted. Fair play to them. Well done, lads. Aberdeen, where are they? Oh, they've made their way up a little bit. Derek McInnes still in charge. Seeming capable of sacking managers, I suppose, which is interesting. But Neil Lennon's still in charge of Celtic as well. So clearly they're just very pleased with how they're doing. Transfer-wise for Aberdeen, I've realised I've just forgotten about Rangers. Will come back to them. Jeez, they've spent a bit of money, haven't they? Who have they brought in? George Edmondson, Jack Vale. Don't recognise many of these. Luke Ayling in from Leeds. Solid signing. Danny Bart in from Stoke. Good signing for them as well. Who have they got rid of? No one I really recognise. Is Calvin Ramsey a new gen? Sounds like he would be. No, he's not. He's just he's quite a young player, but he's not a new gen. Yeah, no one else really. Niall McGinn, isn't he a commentator? I see there's another one of them. Oh, that's Niall Quinn. Silly me. Right, let's check out Rangers then. Let's see what's going on with those guys. What transfer business have they been doing? What sort of guile have they been showing? Again, a bit of a fire sale. Who have they been selling? They sold George Edmondson to Aberdeen. Interesting. To 12.25 million. Adrian Pedrosa, we knew he was gone anyway. Pedro Neto's left. So didn't he join the season before? I'm pretty sure. Martin Braithwaite left. Who else? No one else I recognise. Jordan Roster, John Flanagan, I recognise those names. Who else have we brought in? Nathan Collins from Stoke, 20.5 million. Jeez, how's Stoke commanding that sort of fee? That is ridiculous. Fair play to them. Ender Stevens, 13.5. Daniel Podence, Matty Grimes, Spencer Rodarayo. Again, don't recognise them. Erwin Bentracourt, if you watch the Lujo series, you'll know he's a... hold on a minute. He's a new gen. If you watch the Lujo series, if you watch the Greek Odyssey, he's just signed. I'm pretty sure he signed an Erwin Bentracourt. I've never seen two duplicate names in that. That is really weird. I'm going to have to check that and come back to you. That's a really odd one. Ben Woodburn in on loan. Yeah, solid signing for them again. Joining New York on the 5th. He's not kept himself in the country, which is weird. I'd have thought Rangers would have tried to get a bid in there. Maybe they did. Maybe they just failed. I don't know. Okay, cool. Let's go north of the border then. Let's go and have a look at the Scottish Premiership and see what's going on in there. Right, here we go. Ladbrokes Premiership then. Title holders Norwich again. So they've won the title, not by the margin that they have done before. So they've not been able to have as good of a run of it as they have done. Maybe they're starting a bit of a Celtic here, but interesting to note that the last 3 title winners have all been English teams. Motherwell starting to make a bit of a fist of it though, which is interesting. Obviously, I think probably the thing to bear in mind is although Norwich have won, as I mentioned in the last clip, maybe the clip before, they're not actually going into continental football, if I'm not mistaken. Let's just check their schedule just to confirm that. But I'm pretty sure the way it works, it doesn't have that same way of doing it. You see there's nothing in there about Champions League qualifiers or anything like that. So they're clearly not doing that. So they're obviously fighting on one less front than the likes of Motherwell and that are as well. Watford came 3rd, Bournemouth came 5th. Bournemouth has just dropped massively off, it looks like. Niko Kovac in charge now. I know we saw that Eddie Howe left. So Eddie Howe left ages ago. They've gone through managers. Wow. Michael Laudrup went in. Craig Shakespeare was caretaker for a while. Stephen Robinson, he played one game and got sacked. Hey, that's odd. And who do they lose against? That's really weird. Might know Eusebio. Is that the Eusebio? I don't think so. It's different Eusebio. No, Eusebio, the real one's Portuguese, isn't he? And then Nico Kovac's been there ever since, having a decent run of things this year. Transfer-wise for Bournemouth, then we'll go into the other ones before we finish off. Yeah, fairly standard, I think, now. Not really a huge amount going on. Diego Rico, the biggest sale. David Turnbull, the biggest purchase. Is he a new gen? No, he's not. See, I don't know Scottish players at all, apart from the really big ones. So I don't really know who any of these are. Are there any ones that are worth noting? Asmir Begovic gone to Genoa on a free. Other than that, yeah, not a huge amount. I suppose this is the difference between the Scottish Premiership finances and the Premiership finances, because if you look at the others, they've gone and sold and bought loads of stuff, and as you see, even Watford haven't signed anyone this season. They've just sold. I think there's clearly a big old difference in finance, isn't there? So Ben Wilmot's gone to Fulham, Etienne Capoue onto Marseille. Any other ones I've recognised? Moron Alexander, what a great name that is. He's definitely a new gen. There's not going to be anyone calling their kids Moron, is there? Fantastic. Right, let's have a look at Norwich then, just to finish it off. So what's going on with them? Daniel Farke still in charge, interestingly. They've spent a little bit of money, but again, they've sold a lot as well. So they've net profit again. Ben Godfrey to Leeds for 11.5 million. Again, don't recognise a lot of these players. Tim Krul to Brazil. I mean, that's odd. That doesn't seem like a realistic transfer, no? Especially for $1 million as well. That's a really odd one. Joe Sartorius. Yeah, you go, standard new gen name. I think a lot of these other ones will be probably new gens at this stage as well. So look at the sales. Arpo Halmer, formerly Leeds, going to Barnsley. When did he get to here? So he went to... Oh, sorry, no, they bought him from Barnsley. My apologies. But geez, they bought him from League One for $7.5 million. That's a big old buy. That's going to help Barnsley out massively. Matej Klitsch's come in from Leeds. Again, he normally moves on a little bit earlier based on my experience in these sort of saves. He has not had the same sort of seasons that I would have expected of him, at least not in the Premier League. Who else have we got? Oh, there's Moran Alexander again. We know about him anyway. Yeah, again, not a huge amount. A couple of players in from teams outside of their league. Good couple of loans in there, actually. Fabinho from Benfica, Oliver Batista Maya from Bayern, a very good player. Diogo Nascimento from Benfica again. Eric Garcia from Man City, and Keek Peary. I was going to say, sounds like a Dutch name, doesn't it? From Zebra. Well, as we all know them, Juventus. I've just switched off that one to try and make this thing work. Well then, guy, I mean, that pretty much covers it, I think. It's interesting to see what's happened. Like I say, obviously the finances have probably paid a bigger, impact on it than most other things. Interesting to note, as you saw there, obviously the English teams moving across or moving up have obviously dominated, it's fair to say. I mean, I say they have. Norwich have, really, because let's go back to the first season. They weren't far off on that one, were they? They were, this is still pretty close, but they kind of built on that since then. Bournemouth had an incredible season and then just binned it off afterwards. So, not much to report there. And I think it's obviously the polar opposite in the English leagues, to be honest with you, isn't it? So, Celtic have managed to get themselves back into the top flight. It would be interesting to see if we did fast forward a bit further where that would continue. Aberdeen, I think they're a little bit a cut below, unfortunately. Again, I wanted to bring across 3. I didn't really feel it was a sincere point bringing across 2. But it's interesting how they got on. They've obviously kind of managed to consolidate in the Championship. Maybe they'll make a push in a couple of seasons. Who knows? And Rangers, they've come back up after this one as well. And I think they were the surprise package for me. I expected them to not stay in the league and then come back up this season like Celtic did, not the other way round. I thought Celtic would have had a bit better of a fist of it. But clearly that's not the case. Neil Lennon's still in charge, as we can see. But yeah, guys, that will wrap up the video. Like I said, if you did enjoy this one, then yeah, please make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for future experiment videos. In the comments kind of things, yeah, if you do want to see this go on for another couple of seasons, I am going to save this separately. So I will save it so that you guys can actually have a look. If you want the save itself, the actual editor data, I can give that to you as well. If you do, just drop me a message on Twitter. That will be in the description below as well. And yeah, if you want to see any other experiments, just let me know. I'm more than happy to try these sorts of things out as long as I can do them. That's the big point, isn't it? At the end of the day, you need to make sure I can actually do them. But yeah, if you liked it, let me know your thoughts. And yeah, if you want it to carry on into the future or you just want to do a different experiment, let me know in the comments. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again next time. Cheers.